Hi all, welcome to the National Nanofabrication Center. I am Shruti Hegde, working as a facility technologist at National Nanofabrication Center situated at CeNSE IISc, Bangalore. This is the session mainly for NNFC safety and protocols. This is the outline or agenda of the presentation. We are going to cover in this what is safety and protocol, what is clean room, why clean room is training is necessary even if you are visiting as a user for a clean room, what are the contaminations inside the clean room, what are the protocols to be followed inside the clean room to ensure the cleanliness of the clean room, what are the do's and don'ts inside the clean room. Okay. So coming to safety and protocol. What is safety? Safety is an ever-changing condition in which one attempts to minimize the risk of injury, illness or property damage from the hazardous to one which may be exposed. So you can see in the picture, the person is carrying out a chemical reaction. This suddenly exposes. That is the risk or hazardousness of a process what we are going to or what we are processing. So how we can overcome it? With proper protocols. Wearing a lab coat, safety glasses, aprons and gloves will help you to overcome it. Correct? So protocol means it's a step-by-step plan for a user or a staff to perform any procedures inside the fab or a lab. So staying safe means what? Staying safe doesn't mean you run apart from it or go away from it. So what you have to do is whenever you are handled with any of the chemicals, read the label which is being written on the bottles, access the MSDS documents, that's nothing but material safety data sheet, and handle the chemical with utmost care and caution. Use the appropriate PPEs, that is nothing but personal protective equipments, and always remember the emergency procedure. In case of any emergency, what you have to do, what is your response, please be aware of it. So MSDS documents are always available, which will be delivered along with the chemicals, or you can always access it through the Google also. Then coming to a clean room. What is clean room? The clean room, how does it differ from the regular laboratory? The clean room is a space where we are going to precisely maintain the number of particles, temperature and relative humidity inside the clean room. And the lab, you may not be really care about the number of particles. You may maintain the temperatures or humidity levels to a certain extent, but in the clean room we are going to maintain the number of particles. Next is the why clean room training is necessary even if you are coming as a visitor to a clean room. The clean room environment is carefully maintained at particular standards, as I told you, and the equipments are very delicate and they are precisely calibrated. We will be using extremely hazardous chemicals and gases inside it. The misuse of it may lead to a destruction or malfunctioning of the device, but also can pose a danger to a personnel, even the death, and also a longer equipment downtime, which will affect all other processes. Usually, clean room is a shared facility. There are many users will be using the clean room. So if you are doing a one mistake, all other users will suffer from their processes. Coming to the structure of the clean room. This is the structure of the clean room. This is the area where exactly we are going to keep all the equipments and we are going to process our samples. Our sample and human interactions takes place. And these are the filters. They are called as HEPA filters, high efficiency particulate air filters. And this area is the pressurized plenum and this is the subfab. Okay, and then here actually the high pressure, usually the high pressure plenum is maintained with the help of air handling units. They are nothing but high capacity fans. They will push the air downwards, and through this HEPA filter will take care of the filtering of the particulate matters or the particles from the air, and the clean air will enter the clean room. That will always push down, so that any generation of the particles from the clean room inside from the equipments or from the human beings will get pushed down through a perforated tiles, and then they will go into a subfab and they will get recirculated. Each time during the recirculation, we are going to add certain amount of clean air as well to ensure the oxygen level, or to avoid the depletion of oxygen level, because this is the space where the human will be there, and also there will be certain measures will be taken care to monitor the level of carbon dioxide inside the clean environment. Here in the NNFC, it's having both class 1000 and class 100 clean room areas. So we are having total 10,000 square feet area of the clean room. In that, 2,000 square feet area is of class 100, and the rest 8,000 square feet area is of class 1000. So class 100 we need, that is confined to a lithography area which is very, very sensitive, and the rest are the wet, dry etch, thin films and diffusion inline characterization are of class 1000. So here is a classification of ISO or FED standards for a clean room. And this is the picture, basically shows the class 1000 clean room, and inside that what you are seeing a yellow region, that's a lithography area, that is the class 100 clean room. And basically what you can see here is like the class 100 and class 1000, they have categorized the different sizes of particles with respect to the number of, they have categorized the particles with respect to their size. What you can see from class 1000 to class 100 is the magnitude change with respect to a number of particles. If you can see in the class 100, for example, 5 micron particles, we can able to withstand around 293. In case of class 100, it's of 29. But coming to a smaller size particle, you can see the increased number with respect to a smaller size particle. One thing you can also remember here, like smaller the particles, greater the adhesive force. It will be difficult to remove from the substrate surface as well. So as I told you, NNFC houses both class 100 and class 1000 clean room. So coming to a clean room conduct or responsibility of a user. Always whenever you are inside the clean room, please do not run, do not shout, or just simply carry out your work and come out of the clean room. So we expect proper professional conduct from all the clean room users as well as the staff. Do not cause any disturbance or disturb the procedures of other users. Report any violations noticed immediately to our clean room staff. It's the responsibility and need of each user that fab is maintained at the optimum levels. Come to a contamination at clean room. So what is contamination? Any unwanted thing that disturbs your process or that will affect your yield, fabrication, or the device yield or the performance of your device will be considered as a contamination. Majorly there are 3 contaminants. We can categorize the contamination into 3 categories. One is the molecular contamination, second one is the surface contamination, and third one is the particulate contamination. Okay. The first one is airborne or molecular contamination. So any outgassing, oil wafers, alcohols, paints, glues, epoxies, at the same time aromatics, all these are considered as an airborne molecular contamination inside the clean room. So being a user or a visitor to a clean room, what you have to ensure is like whenever you come inside the clean room, always avoid perfumes, deos or skin creams or heavy makeups whenever you come inside the clean room. Okay. So these will affect our circuits and ruins the devices, product yield, and at the same time process reliability will be affected with these contaminations. The second one is the surface contamination. Basically, this is the fab to process silicon and germanium substrates. If you have a surface contamination, like heavily polished surface of the substrate, if you will get a contaminated with your surface get contaminated like fingerprints, oil, grease, skin oil, or any hand creams or moisturizer we generally use will really affect the surface of the substrates. Okay, they are also potentially hazardous for our fabrication and also yield and process reliability. Here again we will read iterate you like whenever you come inside, please avoid this any of the heavy makeups or jewelries or any powder kumkums whenever you come inside the clean room. The third contamination is like a particulate contamination. So coming to a particulate contamination, skin, scale hairs, clothings. So whenever we are using a mohair or any warm clothes or maybe sometimes a cotton cloth that can shed a considerable amount of fibers, which will result in the formation of other contaminations. So particles shedding materials, cardboard boxes, papers, pencils, and also always any bare wood products, they are also a potential contaminants for the clean room environment. So these particles can ruin may result in device failure, short circuits, pinholes, and they are also affect all the fabrication processes. Here is a data where like effect of different cosmetics, how they can affect our contaminations. Basically the sodium and calciums, sodium is not allowed inside the clean room only. If you touch the surface with the sodium, our skin is having sodium and potassium contaminations, then wafer cannot be processed in level 1 or level 2. And here is a change in electrical parameters of a wafer which was contaminated from the common talcum powder that we are going to use regularly. So the relative particle size. Most of the particles are too small to see without aid for the naked eye, but comparing their size with respect to the device that we are going to fabricate inside the fab, you can have this is a human hair. It's of having almost 100 microns over here, and we are going to fabricate the submicron level devices inside the clean room. So our eye hair or the hairs of eyebrows can potentially affect our device fabrication. So coming to the sources of particle contaminations, people or the human are the major source of contaminations inside the clean room that contributes around 75%, and the room structure, acoustics of the building will also contribute certain amount of contamination inside the clean room. The equipments generally what we are using inside the clean room that also can generate certain amount of particles. For example, some of the deposition tools or like PVD or CVD tools, sometimes the film peel off may also create certain kind of particles that will affect or contribute towards the clean room particulate contaminations. Okay, so here is a chart with the human actions, the how many number of particles we are going to contribute with our actions to the clean environment inside the clean room. Okay, so here is again it's a comparative chart with respect to a number of particles with size and distribution with respect to our sneeze and cough. Of course, sneeze and cough are the two involuntary actions. We are not able to control it, but these many numbers of particles we are going to shred off with respect to our sneeze and coughs. And this is the effect of contamination. Suppose you are opened a metal mask over your device, then if you are having a lint which is shred off during your lithography, this is one. Do you think your process will work? No, definitely it will shorts. Okay, to avoid all this contamination inside the clean room, we have to come up with a gowning procedure. So gowns are the bunny suits, what we can say. We are going to protect ourselves from the device or the number of particles we are going to contribute inside the clean room. So this is the order of gowning. Please remember this. First you have to before you coming to a clean room, always clean your mouth or face with water, drink lot of water. Then coming to a gowning area, put on the face mask available in the gowning area, followed by hairnet, gown or bunny suit, which is usually made of any polyester kind of material, not but not of like cotton, which may shed off lot of fibers inside the clean room. The material which will not shred off any kind of fibers, this will be made from that one, and followed by booties and gloves. Degowning procedure is just reverse to the gowning procedure, means first gloves and booties, bunny suits, followed by hairnet and then face mask at the end. So after proper gowning, you will look like this. This is the sticky mat you can find just before the entry to the clean area. Always spend a moment or spend for a while on the sticky mat, so that any adhered particle to your booties will get stick to this sticky mat. Okay. Next, coming to a safety session. So what you have to do in case of emergency, when you are inside the clean room, what you have to do for an emergency. So telephones are not allowed inside the clean room. You can always use a line phones which is located in each and every bay of the clean room. So you can always call BMS, that is nothing but building maintenance system. The number is 115. Please note this number. This is 115. Okay. If you feel, so in case of when you are inside the clean room, if you are able to hear any fire and smoke alarm, please always exit through the nearest exit to a safe assembly point without waiting for ungowning and without waiting for any further instructions or any these things. Always exit outside the clean room through the nearest exit and assemble in the safe assembly point till all clear messages or till the issue get resolved. In case of gas alarm, being a dependent user, you are not going to use this, but still in case of gas alarms are tool specific. You can expect them in tools like LPCVD and diffusion furnace. Evacuate immediately from the emergency exit, and from corridor or outside you have to inform BMS, try to inhale the gases as much as possible. Okay, buddy system. This is the one rule which has not been forgotten. So whenever you carry out any work inside the clean room during office as well as non-office hours, make sure that you have a buddy. Without buddy, please do not carry out any process inside the clean room. These are the wet bench protocols and PPEs available in the wet edge. So wet bench is the place basically we are going to use lot of hazardous chemicals, liquid chemicals in the wet area. So we are going to use appropriate aprons, sleeves, face shields and special chemical resistance gloves to handle all these chemicals. So this is the governing protocol for hydrofluoric acid. Hydrofluoric acid is a chemical we are using this mainly to etch silicon oxides or nitrides in the wet etch bay. So this is the proper gowning before you handle any of the chemicals inside the wet etch. Okay, these are the different kinds of gloves we usually use. Sometimes you may use PVC gloves as a gowning gloves. Whenever you handle chemicals, you need a special chemical resistant gloves. They are the nitrile gloves. And in case of HF handling, you need to use Eftelon gloves. These are the pictures you can see. These are the chemical spill pads and these are the pillows. Okay, so the protocols inside the wet touch is like all the chemicals inside the fab is very hazardous. You ensure that you have read the MSTS before use and always add appropriate amount of chemicals. Do not waste the chemicals. If you have happened to touch any chemicals inside the or whenever you are inside the clean room, avoid touching your eyes. Never touch the phones or taps with chemical contaminated gloves. Okay. Next, you may see these are the various hazardous symbols whenever you are inside the clean room. So, as per NEFA, what is the meaning of it? For example, like this is the carcinogenic symbol and this is a very cautious symbol. It may be a skin irritant or it may be acute toxic chemical. This means like explosive, oxidizer, it is aquatic toxicity, flammable, corrosive, and gas cylinders and toxic. So, coming to a disposal procedure, whenever you do a process using a liquid chemicals, the way you are disposing it off is very important. So, improper disposal may always lead to an accident or explosion. For example, if you mix with a nitric acid with any of the solvent, it will result in the explosion. So, hydrogen peroxide with any of the organic solvent, again it will result in explosion. Okay, so this is the NNFC disposal protocol. Acid and alkalis will be poured through a drain since we are having our own acid neutralization plant, HF and BHF or BOE solution to be disposed in a single plastic bottle, chrome etch to be disposed into a designated chrome etching plastic bottle, organic solvents, at the same time PG removers, Technin strips will be stored in a separate bottle, then we will take care of the disposal. The thing is like do not leave any chemicals on wet bench unclaimed or without any label. At the same time, silicon and glass substrate should be disposed in a designated bin. In case of emergency or any incident, if suppose you are happen to have a spill, chemical spill on your body, what you have to do? We are having a both safety shower as well as eye shower near wet edge area inside the clean room. So in case of chemical spill on the body, you can always remove the contaminated clothes, have a running water wash for at least for 15 minutes, then inform the BMS, seek medical attention immediately. We have kept a spare gown in the safety shower area as well. In case of eye injury, always use eye shower that is located just in front of the wet touch bay, and you have to wash the eyes in running water at least for 15 minutes and seek the medical attention. In case of chemical spill on the floor, if it is small, you can address with the help of pillows and pads. If it is a very big spill, at that time, what you have to do is inform other users, close the wet touch bay entry by using a red tape and evacuate, go out of the clean room, inform the BMS regarding the spill. So the most hazardous chemical what we are going to use inside the wet touch bay is like HF and BHF. HF and BHF, they are extremely hazardous. They can corrosive on our skin. At the same time, fluoride ion is having higher efficiency towards our bone calcium. It will affect our bone also, at the same time our central nervous system. So HF injuries may lead to a death also. Minimum amount of exposure to HF and BHF may lead to a death also. So these are the few pictures of HF or BHF victims. You can see they are like very painful and also painful treatment at the hospitals. Be always aware of HF and BHF. These are the different symptoms what you are going to face if in case of exposure to 50% HF. The first state of HF and BHF injury. Always wash, remove the contaminated gloves, always wash the affected area in a running water at least for 15 minutes. Apply calcium gluconate gel which is located at the wet edge bay continuously. And we are having a document inside the wet edge. Please take that, inform BMS and seek medical attention as soon as possible. The other acids and bases what we are going to use in wet edge is like all the mineral acids, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, and we are using developer like TMAH based developer, potassium hydroxide. All these are extremely hazardous and corrosive in nature. Always use appropriate PPE before you use them. And the solvent, do not think that solvents are least. Even simple acetone can cause potential hazardous after continuous exposure on your skin or eyes. And one more chemical, hazardous chemical, what we are using inside the fab is the photoresist. Photoresists are extremely hazardous. They are irritant, harmful, carcinogenic. Though they can affect our CNS. So always aware that don't inhale or be cautious whenever you handle with photoresist. These are the emergency contact numbers what we have. During any emergency, you can always contact all these things, and we are having a panic button which is been located in the every bay. In case of any emergency, facility emergency, what I am talking, just press the panic button so that BMS will come to know about this. Coming to a contamination policy, we are having a very stringent contamination policies inside the fab. So we are having clean room wide restrictions and also equipment specific restrictions. Few materials like sulfur, PDMS, they are not allowed inside the clean room. Fast diffusing metal like copper, zinc, iron, manganese, etc. they are not allowed inside the clean room. The toxic metals like mercury, arsenic, selenium, cadmium, SB, they are also not allowed inside the clean room. Only approved list of photoresists are allowed. The list is available with the NNFC. Only approved chemicals are allowed inside the clean room. Coming to an equipment specific restrictions, each equipment is labeled with respect to a contamination level. Based on the contamination level, entry of the materials or samples are restricted. The basic idea for this is like level 1. Here you can see labels from level 1 to level 4. So the basic idea is like level 1 is most cleanest and level 4 is more dirtiest. The level 1 means we can only allow silicon samples and the samples coming from the level 1 tools. Level 2 means the samples, they are oxide coated or samples coming from the level 2 tools, they are allowed here. Level 3 means you can expect metal contamination, and level 4 is having much more relaxation with respect to material entry. So here is a chart, this might be useful for you. The level 1 means like newly diced samples, wafers, cut pieces, they are allowed. From the samples from the level 1 tool is allowed. So samples after RCA, clean on the level 2 wet benches, they is also allowed in the level 1. Level 2 is like sample processed in the level 2 tools. Samples from the lithography is been allowed in the level 2, but no metal contamination in the level 2. So sample level 3A means you can have a metal contamination, but metal should not expose to a tool or anything. It should be encapsulated. So level 3 means you can always expect metal contamination. Level 4 is having a wider relaxation with respect to materials. So this is all about the NNFC safety and protocol. Thank you.